This is Boston Chris with another great episode of the ETX ROCKS Show.
Louise here.
Descript.
Featuring all genres and styles of entertainment.
And coming to the ETX ROCKS.
Let's hear it from Louise, please.
From the unheralded and unheard to the legends and beyond.
Out of the box with ETX ROCKS.
It's awesome.
We keep them coming.
$5, that's pocket change.
Well, hey, y'all, this is Haley McDaniel. Are y'all ready for this?
ETX ROCKS Show is the greatest show of all time, okay?
We are ETX ROCKS.
The ETX ROCKS Show is the best show of all time, say? The other shows, you're good, you're real good. As long as we're around, you'll be second best, say?
Cut.
This is Aubrey Lynn. You're listening to the ETX ROCKS Show.
Hey guys, Boston Chris, and you're watching a brand new episode of the ETX ROCKS Show. And guys, we have a huge treat for y'all. Off camera, I was telling Mr. Hicks that he's kind of the ghost of country music around here in East Texas. And what I meant by that is that, you know, I've been involved in the music business for a couple of years, but before I was, I had a couple of favorite bands in the East Texas area, and I'd always hear about Waylon from different musicians, different artists, and I could never find him at a show to go check him out. So I was like, this guy doesn't really exist. But he does. Here he is. He's on the ETX ROCKS Show. First time on the show. Man, I really appreciate you taking the time to come talk with us.
Glad to be here.
And so Waylon's been doing this a while, and we're going to talk to him about his career and his music and a lot of other things. And of course, he brought his guitar, so we're going to get him to play a couple for us as well. The new single is called What Some Call a Weakness.
What Some Call a Weakness.
So
yeah.
tell us about the song, and I guess you're going to show it to us.
Yeah, well, Deryl Dodd put his pen together with another guy. I believe his name. And it's just a great song. When I first heard it, I fortunately become friends with Deryl over the years, and said, why didn't you ever do anything with this song? It's great.
Right.
He said, I don't know, you know how things work. And I don't know, it just worked out. He gave me permission to cut it, and we cut it, and I loved it.
This is a great, I mean, what I would call like a Texas Americana type song.
Right.
It's real true to the roots of Texas music. Yeah. And it's great to hear stuff like that on the radio nowadays. So I really appreciate you keeping that torch alive.
Well, to me, it's a man song about love, where guys want to be tough, and they don't want to admit the weaknesses and things, and this is something that what some call a weakness, this love thing it makes me strong, is what it says.
Well, so here's What Some Call a Weakness by Wayland Hicks, and make sure you're requesting this to your local radio station if you enjoy the song like we do.
Well, I've been told a man should learn to stand alone. True strength comes from facing troubles on your own. But when times get tough, you're my shelter from the storms. What some call a weakness makes me strong. They can call it an addiction, baby, I don't mind. I admit I'm hooked on holding you here in these arms of mine. And I'm a better man, 'cause I've got you to lean on. Yeah, but some call a weakness makes me strong. Now I'm not saying that I fear life's complications. For a house to stand, it needs a good foundation. And your loving heart is the place I always build on. Yeah, what some call a weakness makes me strong. They can call it an addiction, baby, I don't mind. I admit I'm hooked on holding you here in these arms of mine. And I'm a Yeah, with some call it weakness, makes me strong.
Hi everybody, I'm Ricky Lindgren, and you're tuned into the ETX Rock Show with my buddy, Boston Chris.
All right, so that was what Some Call a Weakness by Wayland Hicks. You guys can check that out on the radio. Like I said, if you want to hear the full band version of that with Wayland Hicks and his band, The Travelers, you need to call your local radio stations. I think that's in the top 60 now. It's like 57.
57, somewhere, and it's been hanging in the 50s. for
This is the
several
sophomore
weeks.
single too, right?
Yeah,
It's the second one.
Second single we've ever
And
released.
both of them have been right around the top 50 mark.
Yeah, our first one, Meet Me in Denver, actually got to 42, which we were tickled to death
Yeah.
with. I mean, one thing I didn't ever dream I'd be talking about releasing a single.
Right.
So that in itself.
So what's it like when you hear it on the radio?
It's crazy. I mean, I've heard these artists and singers talk about going down the road and all of a sudden it comes on and that happens. I mean, it's wild. I don't like to hear my voice, so I turned it pretty quick. But
All my songs on the radio. Oh, let's go to top 40. That's awesome. So I understand that you're living in Lindale now, right?
Yes.
Is that where you're from as well?
From Lindale, yeah.
So pretty much, born and raised, still there.
Born and raised.
Still making your name here in East Texas.
Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Why? Hey, you're the ghost, man. You have a new nickname now, so.
Every ghost has a name.
That's right. So I mean, I understand that you have kind of a funny story as to how this all happened for you.
Yeah, it's I work on a ranch part-time down in, I say South Texas, but they say West Texas, down in Edwards County.
Okay.
2.5 hours west of San Antonio. I'm a hunting guide on the ranch, big, huge ranch, Baker 3 Ranch, and I don't know, back 7, 8 years ago, 9, something like that, I wanted to play the guitar, and I decided to buy it and carry it to the ranch. I didn't do it around family, I didn't do it because I'd go down there and have some time in between hunts, and the hunters got to noticing the guitar back here in the bunkhouse, back here at my bunk bed, and they'd pester me at night to get around the campfire, and they'd normally have enough to drink that I got the courage up to.
That sounds pretty good anyway, right?
Yeah. And that led to my first gig. I don't know, a year later, I got up the nerve and I was booked my very first gig at Miranda's first store in downtown Lindale.
Mm-hmm.
Going to do an acoustic deal.
Right there in the corner.
Right there on the corner, 16 and 69.
Yeah.
And I agreed to it because I kind of wanted to do it. But I got cold feet about Wednesday of the week of the gig. And I got to thinking, I'm not, as you just heard, I'm not good enough on the guitar to carry a full night by myself.
Well, I don't know. Better than me. I can't even play a pen like that. So.
Well, I got real worried, so I started asking around town, who plays guitar? Who plays? And I kept hearing the name Carl Mangrum.
Okay.
So I got his number. I called him, and you'll get to meet Carl one of these days. He's a big son of a gun, 6'6", 6'7".
Wow.
Just cut to the core in his talk. No BS to him normally. And I called him and I said, "Hey, Carl, this is Wayland Hicks." And told him what I had. I said, "I hear you play the guitar." "Yeah, I play a little bit." I said, "Well, are you interested in doing the deal with me Saturday night?" "What time Saturday?" I said, 8 o'clock. He said, "I'll be there." Click. And that was it.
Wow. So, didn't need a set list or nothing.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know whether to be happy.
Wow.
Worried.
Yeah.
About 10
Probably
minutes to late
already
Saturday
terrified.
night. I am, yeah. 10 minutes to late. Guy walks in that I think is Carl because he's carrying a guitar. We shake hands, we get on stage. Afterwards he said, "I love what you do." And I said, "Well, I love what you do." And he said, "Well, I know a bass player and a drummer that want to put a band back together. Are you interested?"
Wow.
And I'm like, let me think about it. I called him a few days later. We're
Wow.
still playing.
So, all right, so I'm going to assume by that answer that this was kind of like at the beginning, it was just kind of like, I want to do this just to say I did that.
Yeah, it was just I was always amazed watching shows
Right.
like Hee Haw. You're too young to know Hee Haw.
No, I know Hee Haw
You
very
know
well.
him?
I was raised right.
Okay, well, good. I was amazed watching those guys and women, ladies, that could play the guitar and sing.
Mm-hmm.
It just, blew my mind because I can't do very many things at the same time.
Right.
Walk and chew gums.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people,
Mhm.
and I just couldn't understand how they could do it. And I just forced myself to do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, you know, with me, I've always been a huge professional wrestling fan. So I got to be mid-30s, and the opportunity came where I could wrestle.
Okay.
You know, just, it was backyard wrestling.
Sure.
It was professional wrestling, by God, it was.
Yeah.
But I did it for 2 years, and I started off doing it just to be able to say, hey, I did that, I was a fan of that, I grew up watching it, and I did it. And
Did you have a wrestling name?
I had a few.
Which were?
One was Boston Chris, the other was El Chupacabra.
El Chupacabra.
Yeah, I still have the mask in my bedroom.
Oh, can we take a time out for him to get the mask?
Yeah, I had one word, because I couldn't speak with a Mexican accent,
Uh-huh.
and I was supposed to be a Mexican character, so
Right.
I would always just, I would have buddies that were under a mask too, and they'd be like, what do you think about that, El Chupacabra? And I'd be like, see. And that was my whole gimmick. It worked.
It worked.
So what I think is amazing though is, I mean, you're not a young guy when this all happens,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I mean, you just wake up one day and you're bored out on the ranch, basically, and you know what? I'm just gonna get something to bide my time.
Well, and I couldn't have a red convertible on the ranch, so, you know, that's a midlife crisis thing that most people get. I couldn't afford one.
Yeah, so you
Guitar
just
was a
got
lot
your
cheaper.
guitar instead.
Yeah.
And I think that's great though, man. It proves that, you know, you're never too experienced
No.
to have a song on the radio.
Actually, I've been asked a lot of times since this all got rolling, don't you wish you'd have got started younger? Because, you know, that's when, and of course there's a part of me that says yes,
Right.
a little bit. But then on the other hand, it's actually perfect because, like the single last fall and the single now,
Mhm.
it's gravy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, if it happens, it happens.
And I think it's crazy though. I mean, like, again, you know, you got two singles, top 60. The first one was 42, debut single in Texas
Right.
radio. And anybody who doesn't know anything about Texas radio, it's very competitive. I mean, there's so many big names. And I don't mean the artists are competing with themselves, because that's not it at all. They're all extremely happy for each other. But I mean, just the amount of ridiculous artists that there are in the genre in Texas.
And the talent.
Yeah. I mean, from Aaron Watson, Cody Johnson, Cody Jinks, Kevin Fowler, there's so many, dozens and dozens of legends, and your song's number 42. And you haven't been doing it 20, 25, 30 years.
No.
It's just kind of like, hey, I'm going to try and teach myself a guitar, and happen into a full band, and here I am.
Here I am.
And that's great. And I love how you're keeping kind of your style. You don't really have a genre to me. It's like I said at the open. It's really grassroots Texas music. You can call it Americana, red dirt, country, whatever you want to call it. But really, it's grassroots. It's salt of the earth music. So I would love to hear who was some of your influences. And I know that when we're younger, we have influences that don't matter until we're actually within the music.
Right.
So I want to hear who your influences were after you bought the guitar.
After I bought the guitar. Well, once I got the guitar and it turned into a kind of a small business, I realized that the people that I guess look up to are the ones that are just humping it on their own.
Right.
The Texas guys and girls that are just out there doing it, making a living at it. Some made a good living at it.
Very much so.
Without any big money backing. Some of them have it, but a lot of them don't.
Very little.
And they're just doing it. They're just out there doing it 4, 5, 6 nights a week. And it blows my mind that those guys can do it.
It's cool the infrastructure is here in Texas for that to be a thing, for an independent artist to make a living making music within a state.
Right.
I think it's incredible. And of course, a lot of these guys, you know, are playing in other states. I know you have as well.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yep.
So I mean, these guys aren't, you know, caged to Texas, but I mean, you can make a heck of a name for yourself here in Texas, and being independent and, you know, doing all your own stuff.
I think Aaron Watson was the one that said it. Something about back, you know, when people still bought CDs, which wasn't that many years ago. But I think I may be talking out of school a little bit, but basically he was asked to go to Nashville, and you can sell a lot of CDs, and he was like, I'm selling plenty here in Texas, where I want to be, or something to that effect.
Right.
And I'm like, you know, you got it right.
And Aaron Watson has a top 40 national hit right now, so he's doing all right.
Yeah, he's
an independent artist from right here in the state of Texas.
Yep.
You know, one thing I would love to hear from you is, you know, so you begin to be influenced by Texas artists.
Honestly, before I bought the guitar, I was not into the Texas red dirt music too much.
Right.
It just.
Has that changed?
I'd flip on my truck, the radio station. It'd be Nashville actually, even then.
Yeah.
And then I'd switch it as quick as I could.
Right.
Because it was Nashville. Actually.
Amen.
You got the little dig there.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to offend anybody, but I don't.
We will
care.
before this is over.
Care. It's terrible.
It
For
is.
the most part, it's terrible.
If you have to put the word hick and hop into a genre, maybe.
I get asked all the time, when people find out what I do, but with my name, it ought to be obvious. I do mostly country.
Right.
We do all kinds of stuff, and I said, well, it's easier to tell you what we don't do.
Right.
If you're going to hire us for a private party, we don't do hip hop and rap. We don't do polka, and we don't do any Garth Brooks songs. And then I walk away.
There you go.
So,
Which, yeah, it's a good way to go right there. You can't miss on that. You guys do screamo?
we would. If I knew what it was.
If I knew what it was, I would try. Dang it. So yeah, that is definitely another thing about Waylon that's really wholesome is the fact that you're staying true within yourself. You don't ever try to be anything you're not, and that's really a predominant thing here in Texas too. I think that separates Texas country from Nashville country, if that's what you want to call it.
Right. But I'm since the guitar, I've really learned the Texas deal is it's great.
Yeah.
Musicians are great. Name any. I love Randy Rogers.
Mm.
I didn't really know Randy Rogers until we went to an award show for Deryl, and he was there.
And Nashville would say that Randy Rogers is a failure. That's what Nashville would say.
I'll take that failure.
Because he tried to go national, had a couple of hits, did really well, and now he's back in Texas.
Right.
But Randy Rogers is a legend. He's not a failure. So yeah. I say a lot on this show. We have a lot of country artists, Texas country artists on the show, and we don't need Nashville in Texas. And I think there's that kind of a natural tug of war going on between Nashville and Texas country. And I noticed a lot of our artists here in Texas have their songwrites in Nashville, and they're hanging around the fringes up there.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of funny how Nashville wants to be pulling Texas in, but at the same time, they won't let anybody go mainstream with it.
It's all cycle. I look back at the history. I'm a history guy.
I am as well.
And for the music too, since all this. But you had Hank Williams and you had the hardcore country.
Yep.
During time, and then they got the strings and Jim Reeves and that good mellow Nashville
Ray
sound.
Price, yep.
For a while, and then here comes Merle Haggard and some of those guys to bring it back.
Yep.
And then it went to something else. And
Yeah,
then
something
Waylon
else,
Willie to
80s.
bring it back.
What did you think about the 90s with the rich harmonies and all that stuff?
I liked a lot of it.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
a
It
lot of
reminded me a lot of the kind of the in between the Jim Reeves to Merle Haggard era,
Right.
kind of like a mixture of the two.
Yeah,
I like heavy harmonies.
I do too.
Yeah,
I can't talk Carl into doing harmony enough. Now my fiddle player, Sheila Weaver,
Sheila is amazing.
she is great. I
Yeah.
can't believe she's in the
Your
band I'm
band?
in. Yeah, but she is great, and she sings great. She sings great harmony. And Carl step up to the mic, it just feels it. I'm like you. I love the harmony.
Yeah, you got to have it, man, and I think it's missing a lot nowadays. I think you have it's never. It's never a band anymore. You know what I mean? It's always a solo guy with a band behind him, and nobody ever knows who the band is. It's not like Wayland Hicks and the Travelers. You know what I mean? Which is what you're pushing, and
I'm a traveler.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
But there's so many people out there that are just that, like Blake Shelton. It's Blake Shelton. I'm going to see Blake Shelton. Well, what's the name of his band? I don't know.
Right. Merle
Yeah.
had the Strangers. Everybody
That's
did
right.
the Strangers.
Gene Watson and the Farewell Party Band.
Exactly.
You got to have that. And the artist is always important. The band is important to the artist, but it should be to the fans as well because, the artist is nothing without that backing band. anytime you go to a show, pay attention to who the band members are, because those are the guys putting in the hard sweat and all that stuff. Absolutely. For sure. So here's a good question for you, man. You know, I'm assuming this started off as kind of a hobby. You know, you're just kind of like, you know what, I'm going to go out, I'm going to have a good time, I'm going to put this band together, and we'll just see what happens. Yep. Okay, so somewhere along the way, you go from that to, holy cow, I'm in the studio cutting a record. So, I mean, what's going on in your mind at this point?
It's hard to explain, because I didn't set any of this as a goal. The only goal I set was to teach myself a few chords. Right. That's the only goal I
Couldn't
had.
afford the Corvette.
Could not afford, no way. And, but it's surreal. I mean, everybody knows a recording studio, mm-hmm. but very few have been in it. When you walk in there the first time, it's intimidating as hell.
Oh, yeah.
And I was nervous. And Deryl produced my first CD, which we didn't do any singles off it, but I was proud of it, tickled to death. He helped us out, just a great guy. And I had to turn my back to the big window, you know, the booth,
yeah,
because I was nervous. And I learned all this lingo, mm-hmm. laid down the voice tracks, vocal tracks, and I'm trying to get into it. And I get to the end, and I hear nothing through the earphones. And my back's to them. I didn't know if it ran off. I didn't know. Anyway, I finally stepped back up to mine. I said, "What do you think?" And Deryl, you know, Daryl's a great guy, nice guy. But he made me believe what he said. He said, I'm sitting here wondering why I've been trying to do this for 20 years.
Right. And as we were saying earlier, Deryl Dodd is one of those guys that is a legend in the state of Texas, in my opinion. Incredible musician, incredible performer. And for him to say that about you.
Yeah, and there's little things like that's happened to make me realize maybe I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
And I agree with that, man. I think, you know, I think you're probably getting a lot of comments from your peers, like people like Deryl, and I think that's kind of what vindicates what you're doing, what your hard work is paying off for. I think you can't get that from a fan. I think you have to get that from a peer for you to really believe it as an artist. Right. And you have that. You know, you go to your webpage and you see all those testimonies, and I think more artists need to put stuff like that on their page. You just have testimonies on there, and you should be proud of that, because you know, when people like that are talking about your craft, it's important for you to share that with others. Right. Because if they feel like it's important for them to share it with you, mm-hmm. then you should be able to share that with others and kind of pass the blessing on. Mm-hmm. You know, and I know you're a big Christian as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, I try to do my part.
Well, I mean, you give praise to God, and
we'll see this and be like, what? What?
Well, we're talking on a Sunday, so I have to say stuff like that, y'all. I have to say it. If it was Saturday night, I wouldn't have said that. But no, I mean, you give praise to God, and I mean, you've got a song that's amazing, Ride with Jesus.
It's a cool song. John Alexander, a guy that I've
veterinarian, apparently.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Veterinarian at Bullard. His passion is music, mm-hmm. and he and I met now almost 2 years ago. We've doing a lot of stuff together. Right. And he's a great guy, great writer. He wrote a song.
He wrote all 4 songs on the EP, right?
Yeah, he did. And
in Denver. And we'll talk about where y'all can get this soon.
I feel like I'm a honky tonk guy.
Yeah.
So he said, I got this song I think you really could nail. And I said, well, what is it? And he said, it's called Ride With Me, Jesus. And he saw my head kind of, I said, well, J.A., I called him J.A. I said, J.A., I'm a cheating, leaving, drinking song guy. You know, that's what I think you can do it. Well, he's pretty persuasive, and ended up doing it. And
it's a great song, man. Man, honestly, listening to the song, I'm gonna throw a name at you.
Okay.
It reminds me of kind of something Marty Robbins would do back in the day.
Oh, well, very nice.
Kind of like that story song where you're really following along with the lyrics, takes you on a journey.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with you, Mexican girl.
Marty Robbins. Heck yeah. All right, yeah.
Showing my age, I guess.
Do you feel that, though? Like that kind of song in that vein? Like, because when I was listening to it last night, we listened to it like 3 or 4 times. Which doesn't ever happen. Usually we listen once and we're like, all right, we did our research. But I was just like, no, that's a good tune. That's a good tune. We'll listen again. One more time, baby. And it just kind of reminded me of like Devil Woman or something like that, where it's just kind of taking you down a trail.
Right.
and you're following along with the story. And you know, it's funny to hear you say, well, I'm not that kind of singer. I'm not that guy that's going to talk about Jesus. Well, you pulled it off, man.
Well, thank you.
You know, it made me believe in it.
Well, thank you.
So, and I think that's important for a performer, to make a fan or an audience member believe in what you're doing. So, what are you hoping to do with all this? It started out as a hobby?
Just keep rolling. I mean, I don't know. I don't set goals. I don't.
Fly by the seat of your pants?
Yeah. It's worked so far.
That's awesome. So there's a couple of cool things.
I tell you what, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
I've just thought of something. Get better gig, not better. Get gigs where sound's provided. And you musicians know what I'm
That's a
talking
good
about.
goal. Absolutely. Wow. Because then you don't have to pull a trailer.
Yes. When I started, all I want to do is honky tonks. Somebody said, you need to do private parties, you need to do weddings. I said, I don't want to do all that. I want to be where they're having a party, which I know sounds funny, but that's what I want to do. But private parties are pretty cool too. You don't have to worry about the crowd.
That's right.
You don't have to do all that. And
you don't have to worry about venue politics.
No, little clicks to get in.
Musicians out there know about that too, I know.
Sure.
So
we do all kinds of gigs now, and I'm open to them.
Right. Awesome.
I've changed my way of thinking on a lot
Speaking
of
of
things.
gigs now, so you showed up to somebody else's gig, and this was a legend, by the way. His name's Gary P. Nunn.
Yeah.
So you show up to this guy's gig, and I was talking about your peers, you know, loving what you're doing. This is a good example of that. So you're at this man's concert. Gary is a true Texan legend, by the way.
Right.
And he pulled you up on stage
Yeah, he did.
to perform with him.
Yeah, he.
How could you move your legs?
Well, he couldn't for a while. In fact, I mean, how many Waylons are normally in a crowd?
Yeah.
And he said, "Hey, Waylon," and I actually I went, "Me? Like,
Wow.
Are you talking to me?" And we got up there and we did a duet. I think it was the old David Allen Coe song, "Perfect Country and Western Song."
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Wow.
Awesome. I gained a lot of respect from a lot of my friends that didn't have a lot of respect for my musical thing until right then. And then, like, okay.
So what was
You're doing
that
something.
moment for you when you kind of stepped back? Because there's always that moment where you're taken aback and you're like, you know what? This might be a thing. What was that moment for you?
I got invited to a party at Larry Joe Taylor's place out in Stephenville. And he had a bunch of different, William Clark Green was there, Deryl was there, the Tejano brothers were there. And it was kind of informal party, and they'd go up and do a couple of songs, just acoustic. Larry Joe had one of his guitars up there and mic'd up and everything. And everybody was enjoying it. It was cool. It was, I mean, just great being amongst all those people. And all of a sudden I was asked to get up there and do a couple of songs. Oh, mercy, I was just like, oh God. And it hit me. As far as I can remember, the two songs that I did, that was the only time people danced at that party.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, maybe there's something here.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So how long was it between buying the guitar and that moment?
In that moment,
Approximately.
probably about a year and a half.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I was told as a youngster by my Mama Hicks, my dad's mother. My family was raised primarily Church of Christ. And if you know anything about Church of Christ, there's not these in the building.
Right.
So you better pull your weight on the singing if you're going to sing. And my Mama Hicks didn't go to that particular church or Church of Christ at that time, but me and my brother would take a hymnal over there and sing when I was a kid. And she told me one time, I don't remember her saying it after we were singing, but at some point she told me, she said, "You're going to make a living with your voice." Well, I didn't know what she was talking. I thought she might have been talking about speech making or politics or, 10 years old, you don't know.
Yeah.
But I often wonder if she heard something that might have been.
Hey, maybe she knew something you didn't.
I still don't, but I.
I still don't.
I don't.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Do you ever hear your voice? I imagine you do doing this business.
Yeah, and it's
Do you get
always
used to it?
weird. No,
Yeah.
never.
It's weird for everybody,
Yeah.
but And I have not.
I've done
got used to it.
160 something of these, and I've edited every one of them. And yeah, you never can tone out the sound of your own voice.
It's heard different internally than
Right.
when you actually.
If I didn't have
externally.
people around me saying you have a great voice, I wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, and that's what I concentrate on. I concentrate on watching. I was so nervous at the beginning I couldn't see it, but now I can concentrate on people's reaction.
Yeah.
And see, like around the campfire, the hunters. I'm like, they like it. They hear it. And so I just go with it.
So you find yourself people watching from the stage now.
Oh yeah, I see crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's
up
awesome. Because I think that's what I would be doing if I was in your shoes as well. I'd be like, all right, I'm going to try to make that guy over there dance with that girl over there. And if I can make that happen by the end of the night, I don't care how much money they pay me.
It's so fun.
I'd be just doing stuff like that.
It is.
You know?
It is. It's some of the stuff we've seen and heard. Oh my gosh, it's. I need to write a book.
Oh yeah, yeah. It just the life of the troubadour. All right, so I think I probably have maybe 2 or 3 questions left for you.
All right.
I think this is going pretty well. We're having a good time out here at the ETX Rock set. Mark Claybrook, we're thinking about you, man. We're praying for you. We hope you start feeling better, so we can have mobile audio and video productions out here again very soon.
And Toby needs to work.
That's right. Toby is out like a light right now, I think, possibly. I guess, you've been doing this about 7 or 8 years now. So do you feel like your sound, your style has evolved at all, or are you still kind of where you were at then?
Yeah, I think I'm where I'm at. I mean, I don't try to change. I hear people say, "Oh, you need to sing lower." I don't know. I just do it. No.
Right.
It's
when you're, are you a songwriter as well?
I try to be.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing in the world for me.
Right.
That, to me, everybody loves to sing and anybody can sing.
Right.
And that's the songwriters that puts. Everybody talks, but not everybody can put words, as I'm proving right now, can put words together at the right time and the right formation. And there's only a certain amount of things you can write about, and yet they do it. The great songwriters, and it blows my mind.
So if you're not writing a song, you're basically choosing songs that someone else wrote. So how do you choose a song?
Whether it hits me or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just gonna pull you in.
Yeah. Weakness. I kept saying, this is a great song. This is a song that if I ever get, it's one of the first songs I heard and said, if I ever get a chance to have anything on the radio, I want Weakness to be one of the songs.
Right.
Because it just hit me.
And we were talking before we started filming, this is a song that I think is 57 right now, and you really haven't even promoted it on a tour yet.
No, we haven't done a radio tour. We need to do it.
And I think that's amazing to have a song in the top 60 without a radio tour. It proves to me 2 things. Number one, with the first single, maybe these stations are remembering the success you had with that song, and they're playing this one because of that. Or number 2, it's just a great song.
I think it's both of those. Because I get a text every now and then from some radio guys that don't live in East Texas. And a guy from Corpus, hey, you coming down every once in a while? He's a radio owner.
Right.
Are you coming down anytime soon? So they stay in contact, and then that's, of course I respond because it's smart to do that.
Of course.
I think they respect the age thing. When most guys have tried it and are getting out at my age, I'm just getting in it. My first single was, there's no way you do Texas Red Dirt with a song about Denver. You just don't do it. In fact, my promoter questioned our sanity. You want me to promote a song in Texas about Denver? And I said, why not? I'm doing everything ass backwards anyway.
Yeah. It worked.
Why not?
And, in retrospect, it worked.
Yeah.
I think maybe people in Texas are tired of hearing songs about Texas.
Probably. Probably
so. You look at the charts right now, I think there's 4 right now that have the word Texas in the title.
Yeah.
And 2 of them are friends of mine, so sorry, but I love you guys.
Well, I heard Ty Phelps on Love and War. The way he came up with that name at that particular time, I think he looked at, he Googled the most used words.
In songs?
I think in the news.
Oh, okay.
And like Love was in the top 5, War was in the top 5, and Texas was in the top 5, whatever you Google.
Wow.
That's the way he came up with it, which I thought was
I wonder what the
genius.
other 2 were.
Yeah, I've wondered that too.
Maybe it was like Trump and white. I don't know. All right, so last question. I always save the most important thing for last, and I think probably the most important thing to you is your band. So tell us about the Travelers. Who's in the band? What makes them unique in your eyes?
The Travelers, man, they are appropriately named. Carl Mangrum, I try to come up with different ways to introduce them, and I've come up with, I think, a cool way. I tell them where they went to school, high school. Carl Mangrum graduated from Skyline High School in Dallas.
Okay.
Somehow made his way to East Texas in Lindale. Sheila Weaver graduated from Marshall High School, plays fiddle, sings, plays guitar, mandolin, everything.
Wow.
She made her way to Lindale. Chris Keithley, who just rotated out, he's doing some other stuff, but he was a bass player. He went to Kemp High School. And then Cody Norman went to Rusk. So we're all kind of somehow gathered up right here, and
wow.
and doing the thing together.
Very cool.
And me, I say I went to 7th grade in Lindale High School, Lindale Junior High.
So what makes you guys click as a is it a fivesome?
Mm-hmm. Probably Carl. He's the musical background.
Well, he's almost 7 feet tall too, so
Well, yeah.
you better do what he says.
Exactly. He pretty much gets his way musically.
Yeah.
I don't know. Musicians are going to understand. I mean, we're like a family that every once in a while we'll have a blow up, and then we get together and it just we'll rehearse or on stage, and it just works.
Mm-hmm.
And
you guys have been together a long time too.
Carl's been with me from the very beginning, as I told the story. I kept hearing Sheila's name, and I went and heard her, I think, at the Frankston VFW. And I'm like, I'll never get her. There's no way. I'm just starting out.
Yeah, she's amazing.
I introduced myself. She said, she's sort of like what you said. She didn't call me the ghost, but she said, I've been hearing about you.
Yeah.
She said, when's y'all's next rehearsal? And she's pretty much been with me
It
ever
was the
since.
strangest thing back then, man. Like, it was like, hey, Boston, man, you got to see this Wayland Hicks guy. And then I would be looking for you. And I'd be like, all right, I keep hearing I need to go see this guy in concert. And there was never any concerts. So it was like, does he have social media? I don't know.
I didn't for a long time.
Yeah,
Oh,
see?
that's pretty new for me.
So that's why I was like, all right, yeah, this guy, the people are just trolling me.
I was on the Baker Ranch, 25,000 acres.
Okay.
I could get lost in that. Not see
Hiding in the
anybody.
bunkhouse.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, guys, so if you're following along with the ETX Rock Show at home, first of all, we want to thank you guys so much for watching and following along, tuning in, liking, subscribing, all that stuff. Thank you very much. But you know what I'm fixing to do to Wayland Hicks, don't you? That's right, we're about to play Would You Rather with Wayland Hicks. And the way this works, man, is it's just an app on my phone.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you the first 10 that come up. Doesn't matter what they are. Completely random. I had nothing to do with this. And you have to answer one or the other. You can't say both, and you can't say neither.
Okay.
All right? So this is Would You Rather with Wayland Hicks. Here we go. Number 1. Would you rather wear the same thing every day or never wear the same clothes twice?
I wear the same thing every day.
All right. Would you rather death by electric chair or death by lethal injection?
Lethal injection.
Yeah, because at least they sanitize your arm first.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
And you're laying down.
Or number 3, would you rather have your favorite character killed or have your least favorite character as the main character?
Oh, favorite character killed. Least character, guys.
That would
drive
be
me
rough,
nuts.
yeah.
Yes.
All right, number 4, would you rather have everything you touch disappear or have everything you touch stick to you?
Everything I touch disappears.
It's either going to disappear or stick to you.
And I know it's going to stick to me.
Yeah.
Oh, that one, because I'll pick and choose what I touch then.
Either way, you're picking and choosing what you touch, you know? What? You gave my CD a bad review?
Yes.
Be gone. All right. Number
Can I
5.
change my answer?
You won't book my band? Bye-bye venue.
Yes.
All right. Would you rather have your family, friends, and coworkers see your naked pictures, or have your family look through your web browsing history?
Web browsing.
He was quick. You've got him well trained, Mrs. Hicks. All right, number 6. Would you rather never be able to read a book again, or never be able to watch TV again?
Watch TV.
All right. Number 7. Would you rather eat as much as you want without getting fat, or have a talking dog?
Fat. I fight that battle.
Man,
I've never had a dog to talk, but I fight the fat thing.
that's
Ooh.
true.
Yeah.
And you can buy a lot of food with a talking dog, though, man.
Some people think their dogs talk to them already. So.
It depends on, look, every dog in the world talks. You just have to ask them the right questions.
You're right.
Like, how does sandpaper feel? What's on top of a house? Roof. Right? See?
That's right.
It's just all about the questions. Third question could be like, who was the best baseball player of all time? Roof.
Right.
Yeah, there's a joke about that. The joke is guy's trying to convince his friend that his dog could talk. So he asked the dog those 3 questions, and that's how the dog answered. Well, the guy was mad and said, no, that's not true. Your dog doesn't talk, and he storms off. And then the dog looks at the guy and he says, well, maybe I should have said DiMaggio.
That's a great joke.
All right, number 9. Would you rather never use the internet again or never watch TV again? You've already given up TV once.
Yeah, I've given up TV. I guess I could give up TV again.
So he's going to read books and have the internet. So
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. 18% said they would give up the internet. All right, tough one for a songwriter. Would you rather be considered a liar or be considered a cheater?
Is there a difference? A liar or a cheater?
How do you choose one?
Wow. Is that the last one?
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
very
you got
last
fine.
one.
We can't end with that one.
All right.
Cheater.
All right, we'll do one more. Bonus one, guys. Number 11. Would you rather have the ability to see clearly through any volume of water or have perfect vision in complete darkness?
Perfect vision in complete darkness.
That would be fun.
That would be awesome.
Yes, it would.
That would
All right,
be
that was
awesome.
Would You Rather with Wayland Hicks. We got a bonus question out of it even. Very cool.
Yeah.
So, we're extremely excited to have you here, man. I appreciate your time. And he's going to play another song, I think. So tell us about this song.
About the first single, since we've talked
Absolutely.
about the two released to radio. Meet Me in Denver, written by John Alexander. He loves the Rocky Mountains, and one of his favorite places in the world is Denver. And he just wrote this song based on, hey, let's meet up there.
Very cool.
Him and whoever.
All right, so this is the first radio single, Meet Me in Denver by Wayland Hicks.
Falling in love's a heck of a ride. Makes you wonder, is it truth or is it a lie? Falling for you and you for me. Let's go away, no looking back, leave it to fate. Meet me in Denver, the weather is fine. Embrace the beauty of a mountain sky. Leave our worries for back home. Find some magic and some time alone. Could be forever. Meet me in Denver. We'll fly in and take our time. Take your hand, lead we do doesn't matter as long as with you. Meet me in Denver, the sun's going down, clouds are coming, snow on the ground. Yes, I worry if we'll go. My heart's pounding, babe, I gotta know. Could be forever. Meet me in Denver. Meet me in Denver. Falling's a roller coaster ride. Makes you wonder, is it true or is it a lie? So meet me in Denver. Meet me in Denver. Meet me in Denver. Could be forever.
All right, so that was Meet Me in Denver by Wayland Hicks. This song was an incredible song. Last fall, I guess, is when that was getting making the rounds on the radio. And of course, you can always, if you're out there and you enjoy the song, you can absolutely still request Meet Me in Denver. Just because it's not a current single, you can still request the song, absolutely. I remember that song was on the radio a lot last year.
Yeah, it was.
It was very cool. It's like, man, it's so neat to hear a local guy on my radio station, you know. And I mean, I didn't even know who you were. You were a ghost. So I can imagine what it's like for you to hear it when, you know, just somebody who's never met you. I was excited about it.
It was pretty crazy. One of the crazy on the radio tour, we went down to Laredo and visited we did all of South Texas.
Right.
Went from Corpus to Beeville all the way to Laredo. I did it in one day, and then back to Corpus. But the coolest thing is I wasn't set up, booked like I thought I was going to be in Laredo, so they weren't expecting me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost a joke. Let's put him on and see what happens. And I guess they liked it because they had me do 3 songs live.
Right.
And then as I was leaving, they said, be sure and tune in. I said, I got you on the I got it tuned in. So now we're going to play you in 20 minutes. So they played the
Awesome.
single down there.
And what I love about your stuff, man, is you know, you close your eyes and it takes you to a different time. It really does. It's. I mean, I think it says on one of your testimonies is it's like combining Willie Nelson with Elvis, and I couldn't put it any better than that. I mean, honestly, you just close your eyes. It's a different time. It's, you know, I guess it could be considered red dirt or Americana or whatever you want to call it.
Whatever. Good music's good music.
Yeah,
I don't care if it's
you don't.
Sinatra
Yeah,
or-
exactly. You don't need a genre if it's good. I don't think, and it's. I think that's again. I hate to keep dogging on Nashville, but I think Nashville and the other big cities, LA and New York, they need to pigeonhole something in order to market it, and I don't think you do, because people are different. Every person is different. They have unique personalities, and so the music needs to be the same way. I think.
I think so too. I was raised. We had. And nobody in my family, nobody in my extended family, I was never around guitars and fiddles and all that. But, you know, you see that Mac Davis had a show way back when I was a little bitty kid. And I was totally mesmerized. At the end of his show, he would take the microphone and he would give it to the audience. And they would just give him one-liners. You know, why does my sock always get lost in the dryer? Something like that. And he'd do a song. He'd write a song just like that. I was amazed by those guys, how they could do that.
Mac Davis was, yeah, he was.
But
great.
I listened to all kinds of music.
Mac Davis wrote a lot of songs for other people too.
Yeah.
People would be blown away by
I
it.
wrote some songs for Elvis.
Yep.
Did his own thing, and yeah, he was
I
great.
think he wrote In the Ghetto.
In the Ghetto. That's right. It's a great song.
See, I told you. Don't judge a book by his age now. Come on. I just proved I can hang.
You can hang.
So I guess what people out there are probably wondering right now is where can they follow along with Wayland Hicks? Do you have a website?
I do have a website. It's waylandhicks.com, and I always make a note about the spelling.
Yeah, Hicks, and the first name is Wayland.
Yeah.
Wayland Hicks.
Of course, Waylon Jennings ruined it all for me on my spelling.
But that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. So,
That means you're different.
you want to hear a funny story about that?
Yeah, sure.
Actually, that spelling is the way it is on Waylon Jennings' birth certificate and death certificate.
Really?
Yeah, true story.
Wow.
His, let's see how it, he was born with that spelling, and his mother changed it like when he was a baby because she found out there was a Wayland Baptist University in Plainview, Texas, up in the Panhandle, spelled like our names.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a good member of the Church of Christ. So she was not going to have her baby Waylon associated with the Baptist in any sort of way. And she started changing it right
So
there.
she changed it to L-O-N.
L-O-N.
That's funny.
Isn't that crazy? Funny.
There's some great stories about Waylon Jennings that people would just, like, you know, the fact that he should have died with Buddy Holly and them. But the Big Bopper came down with a virus or something, and they decided it would be better for him to fly instead of take the bus.
Yeah.
So
And he
Waylon
traded-
gave up his seat.
You know what Buddy said and what he told Buddy? Buddy was joking about him having to ride the bus or whatever and not getting on the plane. And said something about, well, I hope you have a damn little car wreck. And then Waylon said, well, I hope your damn little plane goes down.
Wow.
And
I did not
haunted
know
him
that.
For years. He wouldn't.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I get his book.
I always tell people that if Waylon Jennings had not given up his seat that day, none of us would have ever heard of Loretta Lynn.
Loretta Lynn. Why is that?
Because when her Blue Kentucky Girl, her very first single, and she was literally going from radio station, she invented the radio tour, but she was going from radio station to radio station across the country, and nobody would play her song until she got to a disc jockey named Waylon Jennings.
No joke. That's a new one.
And he played the song for the very first time. So it's very, very likely that if it wasn't for him not getting on that plane, there would not have been a Loretta Lynn.
See the things you learn here at ETX ROCKS.
That's right, see? Now, Haley McDaniel, if she's watching, she would be like, man, Boston and his trivia. So the website is waylandhicks.com. I'm assuming people can find your social media, your tour information, all that stuff. Can they book you guys through that as well, or would you rather send them to Facebook for that?
No, all the information's there to get in touch with us to book, and we go anywhere.
All right, awesome. And I understand that you guys actually have new merch now, but it's only available through Facebook. Is that right?
It's only available, yeah. We have, in fact, fresh printed T-shirts as I speak. We just got back here a day or so ago. We've got koozies. I've been thinking about trying to do, because the band's called the Travelers, and maybe your followers can give us
have
some
hubcaps.
I'm a great ideas guy, but I'm a bad implementer.
Right.
You know, I've got 1,000 songs that start out really good, and then I just forget them. And this idea is one of those that it ought to take off. But I want to do a Travelers Club. Okay. And I want in that Travelers Club a certain amount of time over a 2-month period or whatever. If whoever sends in a picture of themselves the furthest away from Lindale, Texas, gets a free something.
Wow.
Free travel pack.
That would be cool.
And you think people would be interested in that?
I think you could make it happen.
Yeah.
I think with the right promotion, I think it would be different enough that other people would pick up on it.
Problem is, I got a good friend that's a flight attendant. She flies all over the world and wears
Just
shirts.
don't tell her about it.
Yeah.
That's all. She don't need to know.
But I'm thinking about doing something like that.
But see, the thing about flight attendants too, though, is like they would have to be able to find the sign of them being in a different place.
Yeah.
And they're only in airports.
Yeah. Airports and planes.
So all you would have to do is, all you would have to do to make it legit is say you have to be standing in front of an entering sign. So in other words, like entering Longview, entering Louisiana, whatever, it has to be a road sign that you're entering somewhere.
Entering Disney World.
Yeah, just whatever.
Wherever. That's a good idea. Entering.
Like you can't be in front of a Newark airport sign, because that's cheating. You're working.
And you'd rather be considered a liar than a cheater. Now,
That is
one of the questions. Or did I say cheater and liar?
You said they were both bad.
Yeah, they were both bad.
Yeah, really bad. He said cheater. Where can people get your records? I know you have 2 of them, right?
I do have 2 of them. Contact me.
Okay.
That's how much I know about.
Are they out on
media.
iTunes and stuff like that as well, or?
We do. There's a way to get to all that. Yeah, it's not. We haven't set it up where it's really easy yet. We're in the process of getting all that done.
Yeah.
And I don't know enough about it to really
Yeah,
be able
see,
to
this
talk
is
about
the
it.
reason why Wayland Hicks was a ghost, because he needs help with this stuff.
I need help. I resisted the social media
Right.
stuff.
I know. He doesn't even have a personal Facebook.
I don't? I thought I did.
Well, maybe he's hiding from us then. By the end of the day, I will find it. All right, so you guys out there.
But yeah, there's a way to navigate and get to the songs.
Okay,
Absolutely.
very cool. And there's 2 records, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So 2 records out there. I'm sure you can get them at a show too. So WaylandHicks.com. Check out the tour dates. I know you have several shows coming up. I know you're a regular at Love and War in Lindale as well.
Luckily, Ty's put us kind of on the regular rotation.
Yeah.
It's a great place.
Oh,
Great venue.
love it out there. We do interviews out there all the
Yeah.
time.
What do we have? 4th of July celebration, Ben Wheeler, Texas,
Mm-hmm.
on the 4th. Come out there. And then, oh gosh, just check out the website.
Well, it is on the website. All of them are there. So, and of course, as you get new gigs, you're adding them there as well. He's got somebody who knows how to do that at least, so that's good. So you guys out there, we want to thank you for watching another great episode of the ETX Rock Show. It's just an honor having you on my show. Like I said, I've known about who you are for a long time. It's good to know you do exist.
I'm not a ghost.
No, he's not a ghost. He's flesh and blood, and he's been on the ETX Rock Show now. So you guys make sure you're following along with Wayland Hicks out there. Again, I'm going to spell it out for you. It's WaylandHicks.com. It's Wayland Hicks on Facebook. I don't think you have a Twitter, do you?
I do have Twitter.
Yes, he does have a Twitter. That's right. It's also Wayland Hicks on Twitter. Same spelling. So make sure you're following along. You guys out there don't know how much that supports an artist just by clicking like or follow or subscribe or whatever. That helps out so much. So make sure you're doing that. If you're following or if you're tuning into the ETX Rock Show for the first time, you can also follow along with us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're at ETX Rocks on all 3 of those. If you want to send a donation our way, we now have a donation link up. You can go to www.paypal.me/ETX Rocks. And any amount would help us out, just to help us continue to support all these great artists in the state of Texas and beyond, as you guys know. As we always say on this show, we want to thank you guys out there for supporting live music. And don't ever forget,
ETX Rocks.
Hey guys, I'm Katie Lynn, and make sure to tune in to ETX Rocks with
Boston Chris.
Darren Watson, ETX Rocks.
ETX Rocks, Alan Fox Band.
Hey guys, we're the Morning Madhouse. I'm Carter.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Ginger.
It's the best podcast ever made in all of history.
Hi, this is Paul Bebo and ETX Rocks with Boston Chris Barnes. You're gonna love it.
ETX Rocks.
Hey East Texas, DP here. ETX Rocks.
Hey East Texas, we're Enduring House, a Christian rock band.
ETX Rocks! Hey, this is Monty Pittman from ETX Rocks.
Hey East Texas, Jaden Farnsworth. ETX Rocks.
Hey everybody, I'm David McCarty with the Gypsy Creek Band. As always, ETX Rocks.
Hey guys, this is Chris Colston. Thanks for tuning in to the ETX ROCKS Show.
To the ETX Rock Show.
The ETX ROCKS Show.
Ho! Hey folks, I'm WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and I just want to make sure you support local music.
Hi East Texas, this is Chris Wayne.
And Crystal Clark with KYKX 1057. ETX Rocks.
Hey East Texas, we're Lady Chaz and the Tramps. And just remember, ETX Rocks.
Hey, this is Tom Freeman of ETX Rocks with Boston Chris.
Hey East Texas, I'm Wayland Hicks, and remember, ETX Rocks.
Hey, what's going on guys? This is the one and only SP and Mexicano con Estilo. Make sure to support your local music and ETX Rocks.
Hello, we're one way home.
Hey East Texas, this is Teaser.
Please continue to support local music.
And always remember, ETX Rocks.
Howdy folks, this is Aaron Watson. Support local music and ETX Rocks.
Hey, this is Chris Colston. Make sure you support local music
And ETX Rocks.
Hey, this is Hannah Kirby. Thanks for tuning in to the ETX Rocks Show.
Tough guy, ho!
Covering music-related content of all genres. If it filters through Eastern Texas, it's fair game. Y'all bring it. From Texarkana down to the coast and Dallas down to Houston and everything in between. We are ETX Rocks!